Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage right now our next session by Sports Agents Academy, Mr. Erkut Sogut.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you. Speak to the founder. Hi everyone, and thank you very much for the intro. And it's been a pleasure being here again after last year and the year before. So I'm really looking forward to give you actually an overview how a football agent actually is make money, right? This is one thing we always ask ourselves, or agent who are starting newly, thriving into the business, and I'm thinking about, okay, I'm a football agent, but how do I actually make money, right? And actually, the goal is to make a living out of becoming an agent. And today I want to show you what kind of pathways, if you're an agent, we don't have the normal agents anymore like 10, 15 years ago. A football agent is not anymore a player's agent. A football agent is more than a player's agent. That's why I want to introduce you today. And hopefully in the end, you will realize there are many, many pathways into the business to make a living, right? There will be agents who will never represent a player. That's also okay. There will be agents who will only represent coaches or only selling clubs, be an intermediary. So there are different ways, and that's the goal today. We can, where's the, I didn't got the, to go to the next page. The clip, I don't know who has it, otherwise I won't be. That's the only thing I need. Oh, it's there, sorry. It's my mistake. So you just go with this one right next, yeah. Thank you very much. So, how football agents actually make money, right? Let's look at it here. The first way is earnings as a licensed FIFA agent. So there's some money you can do if you are a FIFA agent. Otherwise, you're not allowed, okay? So that's number one. Number two is, which is overlooked by so many agents, and they don't focus on it, which I'm thinking it's a shame not to do it, is commercial and sponsorship deals, which are in many cases more lucrative than representing a player, right? Then you have an income as a FIFA match agent. You can do that as well, right? You can be a FIFA football agent, but you can be also a FIFA match agent. So we talk about that. Then there are like recruitment deals for football executive. What is that? We talk about it in a second. And then finally, being a business partner, shareholder, and facilitator for different roles. So there are these 5 pathways, or these 5 areas, I kind of put it together, how a football agent can make money, right? So the first one, earnings as a licensed FIFA agent. Licensed FIFA agents can represent players, buying, selling clubs, coaches, federations, leagues like MLS. Why MLS? MLS is a single entity league. That means me as an agent, if I bring a player to the United States, I send the invoice to the MLS. I don't send an invoice to the clubs. Because players in the MLS, they sign with the league. They call it a single entity league. So my customer actually here is the league. My invoice goes to the league. I get paid by the league and not by the club. That's why federation, that's why single entity leagues like the MLS. Why can I represent the federation? If you are in Hungary and you bring a coach to the Hungarian national team, to under 17, under 21, first team, so you send your invoice to the national team, to the football federation, they will pay you. So your customer is this time the federation. For the first time in history, guys, we are allowed to represent coaches as FIFA agents. Before, it was outside. Anyone could represent coaches. But today, if you want to represent the football coach, you need to be a FIFA licensed agent, right? That's new. Coaches, what I already said. Then we have selling clubs and buying clubs. In some deals, you can work for the buying club, and in other deals, you can work for the selling clubs. And these are your customers without representing the player. In some cases, you can represent the player and the buying club. We call it dual representation, especially very common in England. Or number one here, players. That's what most of people know. If they become a football agent, the first thing they think, okay, if I become a football agent, I need to sign a player, I need to make money. That's the way of thinking. But that's old days. That's gone. That doesn't exist in that sort. So with other words, if you are a football agent and if you want to be really successful, then you need to think like a businessman or a businesswoman. That's the future. Someone who sees different things at the same time. Never only focus on a player. That's only one avenue for you, right? And not more or less. Agents typically earn 10% of players' gross salary annually. So that means when I go to certain countries, I don't even negotiate it how much I will get. It's usually common. You say 10%. If you go to England, it can be less. English club says we pay a lot of money, so agents' commission is 5%, 7%, 8%. That's common in England. But generally, in the MLS, it's 10%. In Turkey, it's 10%. Wherever you go, most cases, you would get 10%. But there are limitations. I said Turkey 10%, but that's actually not true. In Turkey, it's 5%. Why? So FIFA rule says, for example, at the moment, as you all know, we have a suspension of the FIFA rules regarding the income salary cap. And the European Court will decide soon. So we are waiting what will happen. Probably in May, this coming month, we will know if the FIFA rules, which actually wants to cut our earnings into 3% and 5%, will be held on or it will be cut completely. I believe it will never pass. It will be always a free market. With the European law, it will not be possible to FIFA to implement the 3 or 5% rule. So that's for you to know. But generally, it's 10% of the gross salary, and it's every year. Not many people know that. They think only the first year. If you sign a player for 3 years with a club, and your player is earning 1 million, you will get every year 100,000, as long as your player is with the club. Correct? Even if your player leaves you, you have a contract, you still get paid. Okay, another thing, but that's more detail, I'm not going into it. But generally, we talk about 10%. Of course, if you have a player and it's wanted by 10 clubs, you can get higher, right? You can have negotiation. That's not always 10, but I'm saying generally. Payment options include annual, split, upfront, or guaranteed structures. People are asking, can I get to 10% upfront? Yes, why not? In some clubs do in 2 installments. So why? The player might leave in January. So we only pay half of the agent's fee. If the agent's fee is 100,000, they pay 50,000 in September, another 50,000 in February when the window is closed. So the clubs don't want to give the whole money. But let's say I have a really good player and I go to a club that says, hey, the agent commission is 300,000 over 3 years. I say I want 200,000 up front and the other 50,000 each year. You can do that. So it's all negotiable. It depends how strong you are and what kind of position you are. Not every single 2 deals are equal in that sense. Transfer commission, 10% of transfer fee. Imagine you represent a club here in Hungary, and you bring a player to England, and a very big under-21 player, top national team, and it's a big rising star. So you can agree with the club here that you will get money, 10% from the sell. So if the club in Hungary gets 10 million, you can get 1 million, right? So that's another way of earning money as an agent. But the best thing is do for you as an agent to negotiate that why you bring your player to this club. It's already in the contract. Don't start negotiating afterwards. That's difficult. Because when you bring your player here to Hungary, let's say you bring a player from Ghana, Accra, you bring him here to Budapest. While you sign in Budapest the contract, you make a clause and says, if my player leaves this club within the period of this contract, I as his agent will be entitled to 10% of the transfer fee. And that's not third-party ownership, what people think. It's not. You're not gaining, you're not holding the image rights of the player. You get them on a future sell. And by the way, who can also get 10% or 20% of that? The player. A lot of agents forget to negotiate for their players that as well. So the player can actually earn also from future sells. It's very important for the player to negotiate that. A lot of agents even don't know that they can do that because the player is never a third party himself. He can always gain income from transfer fees. So agents often split commissions in multi-agents deals. What happens? We can't be at the same place every agent. Like I live in California, I need to work with other agents together. It's very normal. So what we do, if the agency is 10%, we split 5-5. If there are 3 agents, 3-3-3. Right? If there's a father involved, good luck. That's another topic. So you might get 2% in the end, or 5%, whatever. I'm just saying, you need to learn to share. If you share, you grow. Don't think about my player, all mine, I did everything, I earn everything, get lost, protect, dump, boom. in the end, the players might gone as well. Learn to share and learn to grow by sharing with the right people in the business. Believe me, you will have partners all over the world. And that's the key, to find right partners and to do deals together. Right? The more you share, the more you will grow. I can promise you. Let's go to the next page. Commercial and sponsorship deals for agents. As you see, the numbers are growing. We're talking now 20%. So, right? If you do a commercial deal for your client, we're talking in most cases 20% or even more, higher than the traditional player contracts. So if you bring a commercial deal for your player, which is, let's say, 2 million a year, so you can get 400,000 a year as a commission. So it's a lot. Think about that. Think about also making income from commercial deals, right? It's very big. In the United States, we have right now NIL deals for student athletes, which is very big, right? They live from these commercial deals. So here as well, in Europe, commercial deals are on rise everywhere, especially in women's football. If you represent female athletes, for female athletes, commercial deals could be huge. And for you as an agent as well. So think always that's another income stream. Never underestimate the power of commercial deals. It can make you a lot of money. And again, you can work with others together, right? If you work with another agent together, you split the commission 10-10. So that's the reality. Let me see. Again, commercial rights should be explicitly included in representation contracts. If you do a representation contract signing with your client, a coach, a player, put in the contract another clause and say, if I bring you commercial deals, then I get a commission of 20%. Put it in. Later on is difficult. Everything you do before is better. It's clear, it's simple. Afterwards, you have always problems. And you can also, even if it's not your client, but you have a good contact to a brand. Let's say you know someone at Gillette. You build a good relationship. The person at Gillette says, hey, Erkut, we are looking for 3 players to make commercial deals. You can help to find the right players and you get a commission. You don't even need to have the client. You can bring the deal on the table. Yeah? Income as a FIFA match agent. Again, you facilitate games between national teams, friendly games, and you can make money commission. It's another way of making income. Some agents are doing that really good, to be honest, and are making a lot of money. A lot of agents haven't even looked into it because they think, what is that? Organizing games. Why not? You're in the business. You're in the football economy. If you can bring together 2 parties, you get a commission. It's the same thing you bring a player to a club. What you do, the power is connecting people. And if you can connect people, you can make money. And that's another income stream for you. Becoming a match agent requires no exam. You just do it over FIFA, simple, straightforward. Recruitment deals for football executive. Agents can also place non-playing stuff. So what is that? This is something I do now for the last 3 years. This is my area. So I'm not really in the players section anymore. This is what I do in my living and growing these areas. So agents can earn here 25 to 35% of the executive's first year. I give you an example. I bring a sporting director to a club in England, right? And I agree with the club in England. I'm the headhunter recruiter for this person. And usually in the headhunting business, commissions are around 30%. That's the normality in headhunting, okay? But of course, you can negotiate between 25 to 35. It depends what kind of client you have. And the beauty of that, you get it up front, the whole money, right? It's not like being an agent where you get paid every year or every 6 months. When you work as a recruiter, as a headhunter, you get paid up front the whole money when the deal is signed. So if I bring someone in a club and earns 1 million, I get 300,000 right away when the contract is signed. It's like a signing fee. I see it kind of a signing fee. So think about that. Because when you work in football, you build relationship with people inside clubs over years, right? And you have really good relationships. And then you'll help these people to find the next job. It's actually bringing a player to a club, bringing an executive to a club as well, right? It's just another thing to think about, to have it in your mind. I'm not saying you should do it every day, but think about that. Especially in the United Kingdom, in the USA, it's very common. And it's now coming more and more into the European countries. executive recruitment is not anymore the future, it's the present. You have a look into that. Business partner, shareholder, and facilitator roles. Agents broker club sales between investors and owners, earnings, flat fees, or sale percentages. They can also earn equity in startups or real estates and tech ventures. This leverages their football network for long-term wealth building. What does that mean, actually? Simple. I give you one example. You represent a player, and this player is now approached by a startup. And the startup says, hey, Erkut, we would like to work with your player. And we don't have much money as a startup, but we would like to use your player as the face for the startup because he has a huge social media following. And we need 5 posts a month. I said, okay, how much do you give? Let's say we negotiate 10% of the company goes to the player. And then I'm thinking, what about me? I'm the agent. I negotiated that deal. What will I get? What would you do? Would you ask for money or shares? Again, I do shares. I negotiate shares for myself as well. When I negotiate shares for my clients, I say, okay, I want 2-3% shares, whatever it is, and leave it. It's a startup. Some of them go up. And then you can later on sell shares. So I got shares and I sold shares just by being in the deals already many times. So this is another way for you as an agent to make money, right? So if you're in the football economy, don't always focus on, oh, I just need to meet the sporting director. That's the most important thing. I need to make a deal tomorrow. No, focus to meet everyone in the football family. Because you don't know which one of these people can open your door. It could be sponsorship deal. It could be a startup company. You make a deal for your client and for yourself, right? You need to think like a business person here. Don't think about, I sign a player and make a deal, right? Because being a football agent, the future is being a business person. Being much more than only bringing a player from A to B. You have the opportunity with licensed FIFA agent to do a lot, but these things you don't need a license. Anyone can do it. And think about doing different things at the same time. Don't focus on only one, because you don't know where you will have a breakthrough, where you will make your big deals in your life, yeah? This is from my side, and I just have some questions if you have, and then I will finish it. One second. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, true success comes from combining knowledge and strong relationships. Yeah, I really believe in that in life you have to combine these two things. Because knowledge, without knowledge, yes, you might network and it's good, but you are a good networker, but you don't have knowledge, it will only bring you to a certain momentum. But if you always combine these two things, learning with a great networking ability, you'll be always successful in life. So always them two together. Being both informed and well connected makes agents powerful deal maker. In the end, you are not an agent, you're a business person, you're a deal maker. And that's how you should see yourself. Let's have a question and then go.
Hold on.
Do we have a micro?
Thank you. My question relates to what you negotiate in a sell-on clause. I'm a lawyer by training, so forgive me if I see whether it's ethical or if it's right. You've negotiated 10% of the player's gross salary. You've negotiated your fee on the sell-on clause, and you've negotiated something for the player, which is maybe 20%, whatever it is. Now, is it ethical or is it permissible for you to then take a percentage of the sell-on clause from the player, even though you've negotiated your 10% with the selling club?
It's a very good question, right? Thank you for asking the question. So as an agent, and I tell you why I said this, the first deal when you bring a player to a club, your agent's fee is very low. Especially for young players, 18 years, 19, they sign their first contract, you barely get anything, but you have already invested 3-4 years sometimes in these players, right? But you're not getting any commission literally. And in many cases, agents and clubs agree, okay, we don't have commission here, but we give you a sell-on fee. Let's keep working together. As a club and an agent, it's a partnership. The club still works with the player plays there, but you still also work for the player. You do so much for the player around. It's not just you bring the player there, you work with the club together. And if you have success in the end, you get a pie of the success. right? You get a piece of the success. And I think that's fair for the agent's work, right? Because I believe in many cases for agents, the first deal doesn't make much money. The second deal, a little bit. But the third deal maybe makes a lot of money. So therefore, to be able, especially in the beginning, when you're an agent to bring a player to Portugal, salaries are not high in the beginning. Young player, 18, 19, or to Croatia, or here. So to negotiate for yourself and protect yourself, a 5% salon fee as an agent is a good thing. So I think it's important. An agent should know that they can make money off that. It's another income stream. Thank you.
Any other questions before we wrap up? Another question there, just bear with me.
Thank you. In likewise manner, can you also agree with the buying club to have a buy-on clause in the likewise manner?
Yeah, so again, that's FIFA regulation, that we can represent the buying club. It is also in FIFA regulations, it's openly inside. And interestingly, I was a part of this FIFA agent consultation process back in 2018. And I stayed there for 3 years, and then I left the consultation process because of personal reasons. And one of my questions to the FIFA committee was, why does a player agent who looks after a player for many, many years, if the player is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and so on, invest money, time, energy, should only earn 3%? But the person who represents the club should earn 10%. I said, shouldn't that be the other way around? Shouldn't it be the other way around? Someone representing the club should earn 3-5% by selling a player, because that person is helping to sell a player. But the person who's actually making most of the work is only get paid 3%. And guys, I tell you why it's like this. Why agents, they only want to give 3%, and why they want to give the club agent so-called 10%. There's only one reason. It's lobby. Like in any politics in the world, it's lobby work. These people, they lobby for their own people on the club side. ECAA, European Club Association. That's people, powerful people inside. They say, our people who represent the clubs should keep going on getting 10%. Whereas who represents the agents? No one. No voice. So they tell us you only get 3%. Right? To come back to your question, yes, I believe that agents should get definitely on the club sales side if they represent the selling club.
Ladies and gentlemen, hands together for Erkut Sogut. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Thank you, guys.
There we are.